So today we're going to talk about how I get 6 times more done than the average man. And I'll be really honest with you, that actually isn't as impressive as it sounds. And the chances are, if you're watching or listening to a video or a podcast like this, you probably are doing multiples more than the average man as well. So first of all, we need to define what average actually is, because I might be able to make you feel a little bit better about yourself, because we're constantly told we're not doing enough, we need to try harder, and we're failing, and we're rubbish, and we're awful at life. The average man, in fact, the average office worker, so this includes men and women, does 3 hours of focused work per day. That's it, 3 hours. And obviously they only work 5 days a week, because God forbid they did anything at the weekends. So that's 15 hours a week. And I did some maths, back of a napkin maths earlier on today. And I calculated that I do about 98 hours a week, which is 6 times the average. So that's how we got to that calculation, okay? Now the chances are, you might be doing a bit of maths in your head now as well. The chances are, if you're watching a video like this, if you've got the foresight to watch something like this, you are probably way above average. So give yourself a pat on the back. However, I doubt you are consistently doing as much as me, because there's very few that do. And it's not always been this way for me either. And I'm not flexing on you. I'm hopefully going to be able to add some value to you and make you a little bit more productive. And this video specifically is for people who have big goals and want to hit them fast. And it's not for people who like balance and they like comfort and they like an easy life. If you want those things, that's absolutely fine. But this video is not going to be for you, and it's probably going to trigger the hell out of you. So I recommend you fuck off, pretty much. But yeah, the funniest part is that, like a lot of the good things in life, once you've kind of tried everything else, you realize that the best thing is the simplest thing. But the simplest thing isn't the easiest thing. And that's why you normally try everything else before you eventually realize, like, damn it, like, it just is this. Like, it really just is. Whether this is your fitness, your nutrition, your productivity, your mindset, it really is just the simple stuff done well consistently over a period of time that will get you the best results. Because we spend, and I am very guilty of this, or I have been very guilty of this until, the last few years, of trying to find shortcuts, of convincing ourselves that the shortcuts exist. If you look at the most popular YouTube videos or podcasts or courses or anything, it's always how to make more money faster, or how to lose body fat quicker, or how to get bigger muscles quicker. And it's like, I get it. I play the game. It's marketing. We do what we have to do as small businesses to kind of hook people's attention, but I'm always pretty blunt and straightforward and upfront with people as fast as I possibly can be, and say, hey, listen, if anybody's told you any of this is easy, whether that's making more money or getting in better shape or having a better mindset, yeah, they're lying to you. Like, this stuff isn't easy. But with the right framework, with the right guidance, with the right words and affirmations, whatever you want to call it, it is simple. So what I've done is I've written out a load of points. We're just going to rattle through them, and we're going to get through them. And I think the first one is probably a good place to start is tenacity. So I'm recording this. It is, what are we, like 4 or 5 minutes into this? It is 11:01 p.m. on a Sunday night. And I think that's pretty much the best place to start, because if you want to get more done than the average man, you're going to have to do what the average man isn't willing to do. And I can almost guarantee you that there are less than 1,000 people, conservative guess, who are currently recording YouTube podcasts in my time zone. Obviously, you extrapolate the whole world, it's like the middle of the day in the US. There's probably loads. But the point is you have to be willing to do what the vast majority, the 0.01% of people are not willing to do. And you can't just turn up and do that once. You have to do that consistently. So tenacity is a very good place to start when it comes to getting more done than the average. I think there's also a level of acceptance that this is going to suck. There's a level of acceptance that this is going to require a lot of sacrifice, that you are not going to have a balanced life. But I'll be honest with you, and I've talked about this in other videos, I don't think balance is looked at in the right way by society at the moment. I think everybody is trying to do everything at once, and as a result, most people get nowhere. They sit on hamster wheels, spinning their plates, really not making any gains in any area of their life. And I understand why. They've been told by society that they need to do all these things. And we could go down a conspiratorial rabbit hole of kind of why that is. I'm not going to bore you with that tonight. But my view on balance is that you pick a thing and you go all in on it for 3 months. And that kind of leads nicely to the next point, which is focus. Being able to have singular-minded focus. So for example, a good way you could split up your year, for example, if you wanted to look at this, right? Now, obviously, this is going to be dependent on your sort of family circumstances, I guess. But you could have 1 quarter where you are solely focused on money. So that could be your career. You're like, right, I'm getting promoted, or I'm getting a bonus, or whatever it might be. I am making more money this quarter than I did last quarter. So that could be, if you're working for someone else, you're working in a company, you just go all in and you push, and you don't just do the work, you actively make it known that you are looking for a promotion, for a bonus, for more money, for whatever it is, right? Or you could do that working for yourself. Or what I strongly advise you to do if you're not already is use that 3 months to start some kind of side hustle. Doesn't mean you have to quit your job and go all in on this. You could just start something on the side, investigate, research something that you think you could be good at. And don't focus on something you're necessarily passionate about. Focus on something that you're good at. Like, what skill have you got that if you needed to, if you lost your job tomorrow, you could make money within 1 month? And I would actually learn what the processes of making money yourself is if you've never done it before. Because you'd be surprised, there's a lot of pitfalls and hurdles to overcome. So you could have 1 quarter where you're just focused on money. You could have 1 quarter where you're focused on fun, and that fun could be, family, that could just be partying, that could be boozing, drugs, girls, whatever it might be. It doesn't really matter. You just have 1 quarter where it's like that. You could have another quarter where it's your body, your fitness, and you could have a last quarter which is like your mindset. So you're just learning. Or you could double down and you could say, right, you know what, for this year, let's say you're a single guy, I don't know, you don't need to really worry about girls or friends or family or anything like that to a drastic extent. And you just say, right, for this year, I'm literally not going to have any fun. Cool, I'm just going to cut that out of my life for a year. And then you have 2 quarters of knowledge building and 2 quarters of money. And it might be that your fitness suffers in that year. Now, that doesn't mean that you completely neglect it, but it just means that your primary focus is on money and learning. Equally, you might be like, you know what, I feel like I'm in pretty good shape financially. I feel good about that. I'm going to go all in on my body, or, you get the idea. You can mix and match here, but trying to see balance in quarters rather than weeks or even months is going to get you further ahead than you can believe. Trust me when I say that. And I think hand in hand with that is having purpose, like actually understanding what the mission that you're on is. Because so many people go into stuff and do it half-hearted and haphazardly because they're not really clear on what they're trying to get out of it or why they're doing it. And as a result, and this is why people would not sit here on a Sunday night. I've been up, by the way, since 7 a.m. and my step count for the day must be, I went out of the house for about 40 minutes. So you're probably looking at like 5,000 or 6,000 steps. I have literally got up, worked all day. And that's probably why you can probably tell my demeanor is not the same as it normally is. I can tell already I'm stumbling over my words a lot, but I kind of love it. I'll be honest, I kind of love it because this is kind of like where you have to turn up and perform. This is like the stage. It's like, cool, the circumstances aren't perfect. Go out there and give it your best. These are the videos, these are the podcasts that I will look back on and be the most proud of, because I'll be like, hey, you know what? You didn't do your best job, but damn it, you turned up. And if I wasn't on a mission, if I didn't have a purpose or a reason, a strong enough why to do this, I wasn't on a mission to do it, I would just be like, nah, it's fine. I'll just skip today. I'll just do it tomorrow. It's fine. Don't worry about it. No one cares. It's not that you don't need to worry about other people watching you. No one cares about that. It's doing it for yourself. And again, that then goes hand in hand with having that mindset. Now, I can't go down a whole rabbit hole in one video around motivation and mindset. It's a big part of what I teach on my programs and stuff like that. But being in the right mindset, whether that's self-belief, identity, your value system, your behaviors, your actions, your habits, all of this sort of stuff, you need to make sure that all of that is aligned with what you're trying to achieve and why you're trying to do it. Another thing you need to look at is your diet, both in terms of your food, your drink, basically anything that's going in your body, but also what you're consuming in terms of your content. And content could be your social media, so how much time you're spending on it and who you're following, who you're seeing, who you're being influenced by. But this could also be your environment, so where you are. Is it loud? Is it quiet? Is it peaceful? Is it chaotic? It could be the people that are around you, so the people in your immediate vicinity, so not on a screen, like actually in real life, whether that's colleagues, friends, family. These people are all part of your diet and your environment. And it sounds crazy because it's almost such a subconscious thing. You don't necessarily realize the positive or negative effect that different, I actually do, no, you know what? I actually do think you recognize the positive impact that certain relationships have on you much more than the negative ones. The negative ones almost just grind you down, like almost like twisting a salt shaker day by day. You don't really notice it, and then suddenly you look down and there's a huge pile of salt. Whereas positivity, I think you're flooded with it. But you need to be very conscious of this. If you are trying to get more done than most people, then most people by default won't understand why you're doing what you're doing. And they'll make what they consider to be playful comments or jokes, but really is resentment, envy, jealousy, projection. A lot of it's projection. They'll be projecting the fact that they are annoyed at you for you being able to do something that they can't do but wish they could do. I think I got my words right there. So you just need to be very wary of your content diet. So the easy steps here, right? The easy ones. Unfollow anybody on social media who is negatively affecting your mindset or just wasting your time. Easy ones there. All the Instagram models, all the meme accounts, all the stupid jokey stuff, which is just a waste. We need to minimize your time on social media. So we need to change your algorithm. So the other thing we're going to do is we're going to turn off all your notifications. And we also need to make sure that any time you are spending on there is positive and informative and motivational. So have a go through all your social medias, figure out, you know yourself, you know deep down. And the other thing is as well, if it's friends and family, you don't necessarily need to unfollow people, you can just mute them. If it's complete strangers or meme accounts, just get rid of them. You could even go as hard as literally just telling everybody, hey, I'm actually gonna just start a new Instagram or whatever it is, right? And also the other thing is here, delete social media apps that you don't use that regularly. Just get them off your phone, get them off your home screen. Even the simple action of just changing the arrangement of your home screen where your apps are is enough to change the patterns in your brain. So we're trying to find frictionless things here that we can do, which are going to radically alter subconscious behaviors in the short term and change our habits and patterns, which means that we're going to save, it's almost like compound interest. We're going to save time in little chunks, which is going to massively stack up and add up. And it's going to enable us to keep that focus. And it's almost like you're building a bit of a streak. It's like you're building a focus streak. So rather than being focused for 10 minutes, you can be focused for 2 hours. So I think that's definitely a big one. Another one is your fitness. So we talked earlier about balance and saying that maybe fitness isn't going to be your primary goal for one of your quarters, right? And that's absolutely fine. But you should never be completely just giving up on your fitness. It might not be your primary goal, but as an absolute minimum, dial it back to 2 sessions a week. And make sure if you are dialing it all the way back to 2 sessions a week, make sure that they are proper sessions. Like I'm talking at least 1 hour, full body without question, and hard, like heavy ass weights, compound movements, high intensity, just go in and just know that you're going to suffer and basically cry and potentially even puke and shit yourself during those sessions. Because if you've only got 2 hours out of 168 in the whole week, you need to punish your body. Now, I'm not suggesting that you dial it all the way back to 2, but that's the extreme, right? If you need to go all in on work, I don't want you to completely give up on your fitness, because you're also going to find that by changing your environment, by going to somewhere like the gym, those 2 hours are actually going to buy you back more hours in terms of work, because that change in perspective is going to actually activate your parasympathetic nervous system, because you're looking away from screens, you're changing the environment, changing noises, changing surroundings, all of this stuff. It activates creativity in our brain, and you're going to need that. You're 100% going to need that. Sleep. Now, I'm being a bit of a hypocrite here because it's 11:15. I need to get up at 5:50 tomorrow morning. So the maximum I'm going to get is 6 hours. I'm not even going to get that because I've been on my screen all day. And so I know my sleep quality is going to be terrible. But even me telling myself now, just hearing me saying it to you, is making me feel worse about it. And it genuinely, I'm like, oh God. But having healthy sleep hygiene, 7 hours minimum a night, getting off screens for at least an hour before you sleep, trying to do something relaxing, and definitely stopping eating and drinking at least 3 hours before you go to bed, just to maximize the quality of that sleep, that 3-2-1 rule. So no food 3 hours before, no water or no drinking, no anything 2 hours before, and no screens 1 hour before. And whilst we're on this, so that's sleep. And whilst we're on the subject of drinking, don't even think about alcohol. I mean, I think that that's just a given, right? Surely. Like anybody who thinks they're going to get more done than I'm talking like a lot more done than, what we call the average person. If you think you can do that with drugs and alcohol, you're you're just insane. You ain't doing it. Now, again, if you're in a season of your life where you want to go out and have fun, I'm not telling you shouldn't do that. What I am telling you is you shouldn't expect to get as much done as me, because you ain't gonna. So just bear that in mind. It's probably the biggest hack, because it's the one that most people won't give up. But if you do, the benefit is the biggest. Because it's not the benefit of not drinking for 5 days or 10 days. It's the compound benefit of not drinking for 1, 2, 3 months. In fact, as of tomorrow, I'll be 150 days, funnily enough. So yeah, what's that? 5 months, basically. Now, you don't need to do that. Like I've chosen to do a 6-month stint, but I think actually past the point of 3 months, you could potentially start to get some negative effects. Because it can unfortunately impact social life and stuff like that. So I think managing a relationship with alcohol is definitely important. But if you look, this video is about getting more done. If you want to get drastically more done than you are now, or the majority of people, you need to be giving up booze and alcohol, and just giving up vices, to be honest, as well. Like, computer games, gambling, alcohol, drugs, women. But what else? What else are people addicted to these days? Their phone, but I suppose that's we're never going to give that up completely, are we? Yeah, I think those are the big ones. If you can give those up, any kind of ones that are just going to just take up your time and destroy your energy are huge ones there. We also want to remove as much friction as possible. So this kind of ties in with your environment, but making sure that you're just set up to succeed. For the most part, stuff that you're going to be doing now is going to be on the internet. So you want to make sure that you've got a good internet connection. Don't scrimp on that. You want to make sure you're getting plenty of fresh air so that you're promoting as much of a healthy environment as possible. You want to make sure you've got a good workspace to work at where you're going to be comfortable for long stints, because guess what? You're going to be spending a lot of time there. So yeah, that's just some ideas, but hopefully you kind of get it. And then let's get on to some juicier stuff. So caffeine. Caffeine's definitely going to help you here. I think go hard on it, but don't go hard on it past like 1 p.m. Because again, once we do that, we start to negatively impact our sleep. But yeah, go hard on it. It's a superpower if you use it right. And then supplements. So the basic supplement stack I recommend to everybody, even literally to like 16-year-olds and 90-year-olds. would be multivitamin, creatine, vitamin D, and omega-3s. For you guys, you want to go a little bit juicier on top of that. So you're going to want to get some electrolytes in your system first thing in the morning, and then I'd probably go again at some point afternoon, evening. You're also going to want to look at some nootropics. Now be careful with these because of, first of all, quality, but second of all, a lot of them come with added caffeine. So if you're already having coffee, you might end up basically like, overdose is a strong word, but you know what I mean? Like you get to a point with coffee where if you've had too much, you're actually unproductive. And they also, a lot of them have taurine in as well, which is a big stimulant and can again cause big crashes. So just be careful. I'm not going to recommend any individual brands because I'm just not on that vibe on these public facing videos. But yeah, look into nootropics. They can be a big hack when it comes to sort of added help there. And sunlight, and I say sunlight as a supplement because it's like free steroids, and as much as you can get, the more the better. Even if there's gaps in your day, or if there's parts of your work that you can do sitting in the sunlight, even better. Or, real hack for you, anything that you can do that isn't on mission, isn't where you're trying to get more done. So for example, training in the gym, can you train outside? Stuff where you're doing with friends or family, can you do stuff in the sunlight? Like, you don't need to tell people you're actively doing this. You can be a little bit selfish here and just say, let's go and do this outside. I mean, A, it's going to benefit everybody because everybody's getting the same sunlight as you. B, it's fresh air. C, it means you're active and you're standing up and you're moving around. And D, everyone's going to be happier because sunlight is just the best thing ever. But last but not least, and I suppose if you do all of that, you'll get this, but there's more to it than that, is energy. Because to do all of this, to get more done, for me to be sitting here at now 11:20 p.m. on a Sunday night, having got up at 7 a.m. and still being able to string sentences together, speak compendiously, and very rarely stutter and hopefully make sense and add value, you are going to need an abundance of energy. Now, of course, that is going to come from having focus, having purpose, being on mission, having the right mindset, making sure your diet, both your nutrition and your content, is on point, getting in the gym, getting your sleep in, making sure you're drinking lots of water, taking your supplements, all of the stuff we've talked about. But there's a lot more to it when it comes to energy as well. But it's important. It's the start and the end point. But I think a lot of it comes from the stuff we've talked about today. So I'm going to leave it there now because I can feel my brain quite literally shutting down. But I'm super proud of myself for getting this video done. I genuinely hope this has helped you. I might end up redoing this one. Let's see how this version goes. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comments underneath the vid. And yeah, guys, like I say, I'm doing these type of videos I like doing because it's stuff that I'm genuinely doing. So it's very easy for me to talk about it. I'm not lying. I'm just literally sitting here and saying, hey, this is what's worked for me. And if you want to achieve big goals and you want to get the stuff done faster, you could waste your time trying all the shortcuts. You could blame everybody else. There's three things that people do, all right? And I've done all three, by the way, at different stages in my life. I think the first step, which tends to be the younger guys do, blame everybody else. Victim mentality. No, it's not my fault, it's that fault. It's something else. And you got the shortcuts. Let me try this. Let me try this one. Yeah, but even if you've got like 10 people saying there is no shortcut, literally almost screaming it in your face. And then you got the third people where they think they're special and think the rules don't apply to them. And again, I've been that person as well. I have been all three of these. I don't know what I'm doing with my fingers. I have been all three of these guys, okay? And I can absolutely promise you that I look at it now. I don't know why I'm still staring at my fingers. Jesus. None of them are right. Take personal responsibility for absolutely everything. There are no shortcuts. It's always your fault. And you aren't special. And neither am I. You just got to turn up and do the basics well. I suppose the last piece of advice, and I'm not even pitching myself here because this is like the worst sales pitch ever, but the last piece of advice, the fourth one, is if you've got a coach, listen to them. And if you don't get one, game changer. If nothing else, even if that coach doesn't know any more than you, having the accountability and knowing that someone is kind of A, rooting for you and got your back, but B, even if your coach like thinks you're a bell end, like you've presumably paid them some kind of value, money or a Bitcoin or I don't know, fucking blowjobs, whatever people are paying in these days. So they owe you something, right? And the good coaches, regardless of their feelings towards you, will want to give you that value back. They'll feel in debt to you. So yeah, a strong coach will be awesome. And by the way, I don't accept Bitcoin or blowjobs. Cash only, people. I should probably look into accepting crypto. Yeah, you thought I was going to say the other one then. But yeah, no, guys, I am going to leave it there. I'm rambling like a fucking idiot here. I don't know when this is going to upload, to be honest, because it's 24 minutes. But yeah, cool. All right, peace, love. Hope you had a good weekend, and I'll see you tomorrow.